哎，好，今天来新生玩啊，这个东方快车谋杀案，我觉得应该到尾声了，这游戏应该差不多了吧？大概线索都感觉都出来了。对，今天想说先把这个破完，破完之后呢，再看下礼拜把那个异星，那个叫异星什么？异星黎明，异星黎明再把它玩完。好难，那我们就继续游戏了。忘记上次我们要做什么。我们要向施米特和米歇尔问话。我这个人哦，有2样东西记不住。第一个是路我一定记不住，真的是一个路痴。第二个就是这种从英文或者其他外语翻译成中文的译名，所以那2个人到底是谁？哦，奥尔森是这个吗？完了，另外一个叫什么？米歇尔·施米特，米歇尔·施米特，米歇尔是这个哦，管理员。施米特呢？哦，施米特是这个。我的 Siri 以为我在叫他，他跟我说什么 one moment， 他做了什么？完了，我不知道他做了什么。施米特几号房啊？105，我们先去找105。哎，进不去，还是要在餐厅。完了，才1个多礼拜没玩，有一些剧情不太记得。啊，施米特在这里。
Good evening, Fräulein Schmidt. May I disturb you for a moment?
You asked so politely, mein Herr, but I do not think I have a choice.
I wanted to let you know that your roommate, Mademoiselle Locke, is awake.
Ah, yes, I'm glad to hear that. I was worried about her. Did she tell you what had happened to her?
Hmm. 直接来。
She saw you pour something in her tea.
And she drank the tea knowing it was drugged? Come now, Monsieur Poirot. The poor girl is obviously still not recovered. That is all I intend to say. If you'll excuse me, I would like to continue reading my book.
What is it? A murder mystery, perhaps?
Ugh, no. It is a collection of Julia Child recipes.
Unfortunately, she doesn't remember much, but we found a residue of a sleeping pill in her cup of tea. Since you two were alone together in your room when she drank it, who else but you could have dragged her?
Must I point out I do not make the tea on this train? You should question the conductor or the kitchen staff.
你有安眠药？
I know you have sleeping pills, Fräulein.
I do have some. Do you think I'm the only person on this train who finds it difficult to sleep? I believe the Countess Andrenier takes them. And I heard the Olsen woman thanking Mrs. Hubbard for a pill.
That was aspirin.
If you say so.
Mademoiselle Locke could have died. Whoever drugged her must not feel any empathy for their fellow human beings, given the dose that Mademoiselle Locke ingested. She was close to death.
Oh my God. What did I do? I didn't want to hurt her. Just have her sleep for a few hours while we
抓
had
到
time.
直接。
Time for what?
哎呦，
Time for what, Madame Schmidt?
You think I feel nothing? Nothing? That poor little girl.
Indeed, that poor little girl. Fräulein Schmidt is somehow connected to the Armstrong case.
女看护吗？
No, not good.
厨师？
That was easy. Fräulein Schmidt, I have a certain reputation for sniffing out.
I am not a murderer.
Forgive me, but I was going to say brilliant chefs. You were the Armstrong family's cook, were you
哇，
not?
所有人
Yes. I was the cook of that lovely, lovely family. I'm sorry, but I must ask you to give me some time to collect myself. It wasn't supposed to be like this, my darling, my poor darling child.
I will give you that time, Fräulein. You have given me much more in exchange. I must check in with my other suspects to make certain I have all the pieces of the puzzle in my possession.
所有人都有关联呢。他一直让我们这样看，是不是外面有那个什么金胡子啊？
Jean, you've mixed everything up again. Oh, I can't find the coffee liqueur for tonight's dessert.
看管理员在哪？
You're right, Mr. Book. This dessert is delicious. I'm glad we didn't wait for dinner.
I promise the entrée will be superb as well.
Detective Locke, you are recovering well, I see.
Yes, I should be helping with the investigation. Do you know who drugged me?
It is early yet for conclusions. When I return, then we shall see.
Do not worry, Poirot. She is in
Poirot.
good hands. Hotaru, Freya, and yours truly are looking after her.
哇，今天还没学法文呢。我要找找这个。我不信，金胡子一定在这里。什么鬼啊！这冰箱太乱了吧？这里的厕所没看过。 找到你了。啊？
Good evening, Michelle. Am I bothering you? You seem stressed.
With everything that's going on, I must admit it's difficult to be relaxed.
Of course, I understand. Especially since we know that Detective Locke's tea was drugged before it was served to her.
Detective?
Come now, Michelle. Surely you would have taken the opportunity to search her things and found her badge. Luckily, she woke up and was finally able to tell us her story.
Otaru boiled the water, Jean made the tea. I just brought it. Sir, it could have been any of the staff.
Your defense is to accuse others?
Huh?
You have a network connection?
No, unfortunately. It's just an automatic reminder to pay my rent. I always forget and my landlord complains.
Pierre Michel had to be involved in the murder. The drugged tea, his post at the end of the hall, and now
那张照片不就是那
I know why I know more than one of those people on the screen.
左边是 Michelle， 中间是那个 Susan。
Fantastic. I must admit I'm not right this
不是
time.
这个名字啊，这个吧？
Fantastic. I'm right again. That happens to me a lot. You are the father of Suzanne Moreau, Daisy Armstrong's nanny. My condolences on the death of your wife.
What? But my wife...
Enough lies. Suzanne does not bear your name?
No. Suzanne's mother and I were divorced. Suzanne kept her mother's name.
他是苏珊的爸爸哦。
Monsieur Michel, on the deaths of Suzanne and your wife.
This job, I loved them, but I was never there for them. Then a year after the divorce, Solange became ill. Suzanne took her to this special hospital in the US. Got that job as Daisy's nanny.
I understand your pain and the reason that led you to drug Detective Locke.
We really can't hide anything from you, can we?
Many have been foolish
Can
enough
we?
to try and keep the truth
Oh, yeah?
from Hercule Poirot.
Yes, I admit, I drugged the tea. But it was only to keep her quiet until I could... But she reacted so much to the sleeping pills.
She was lucky, as are you, that she didn't die. To be frank,
他们不会
there's one
每人
more
都
thing
下了一次
that
吧
puzzled me, but I think I understand now. You have a certain fondness for Monsieur Hardman, no?
Cyrus is a good friend, and I appreciate him a lot, but it's not that. Cyrus was my daughter's fiancé. I almost consider Cyrus as my own son.
Of course, much more is clear.
未婚夫
I have been patient long enough. It is time to go and see what all the
未
commotion next
婚夫怎么他还会有男友？听你在那边瞎掰。
Monsieur Hardman, excellent. The gods who watch over detectives must have trapped you here.
Why didn't they watch over me? I'm a detective too.
Huh?
I was talking to Michelle about a leaky faucet, and I wanted to go out, but you showed up.
No need to invent some preposterous story.
But really,
是男友啦。
Michelle has told me everything. You are the fiancé of Suzanne Moreau, his daughter.
Oh, I see.
Surely this is not a big surprise to you.
No. Suzanne was the only woman I ever loved. And I failed her. We got into a spat. It was nothing, but I was too proud to apologize. We weren't speaking at all. Suzanne never really cared for that guy, Noah. She would have forgiven me, if only... If only.
If only. A common refrain between lovers who quarrel. Obviously, Pierre Michel and Fräulein Schmidt both
对啊，他们两个都各自下药了。
the overdose. No wonder she had so much trouble waking up. Time to report my findings to her and Book.
是游戏吗？
I wonder if our master chef gets his recipes from a game.
如果是这样的话，可以解雇了吧？这个大厨。
So, my friend, tell me, you have something new?
Mademoiselle Locke, I know who drugged you. Fräulein Schmidt and our conductor Pierre Michel both admitted putting sleeping pills into your tea. This explains your overdose. They are relieved you are recovering.
Michel drugged a passenger? On behalf of the company, I offer my apologies to you, Mademoiselle Locke. Michel will answer for this outrage.
Both of them? I was pretty sure about Fräulein Schmidt, but I admit that I did not suspect the conductor.
因为你不知道他们的关联。
I have uncovered multiple connections with the Armstrong case. Pierre Michel is the father of Suzanne Moreau, little Daisy's nanny, and Monsieur Hardman was Suzanne's fiancé. As for Hildegard Schmidt, she was the cook of the Armstrong family. What a coincidence, don't you think?
But it's incredible! What are the odds that so many people linked to that tragic affair ended up on the same train?
About the same as you winning the lottery, my friend.
I wasn't the officer who interviewed Fräulein Schmidt back then, so she couldn't recognize me here on the train. How could they know who I was?
There were other passengers who might have. Or she may have seen you when you visited the Armstrong home. It is now clear to me that some of the clues to this elaborate plot were staged for my benefit. My little gray cells did not let me down.
这是凶手想我们
Clues and
想到的。
information collected so far could lead to a hypothesis. The murderer boarded the train in Vinkovsky, killed Ratchet, and then left the train immediately.
How did you come to that possibility?
Monsieur Hardman told me about a short man with a high-pitched voice who threatened Ratchet. Imagine for a moment that this man, wearing a wagon-lit conductor's jacket, killed him while Michel was on the platform at Vinkovsky. This murderer then hid the conductor's jacket in Detective Locke's room, then fled before the train left.
Why choose Detective Locke's room?
Why, indeed. Let me re-explain from the beginning.
还原假线索中的事件。OK。嘿嘿，
That was easy.
Mon Dieu! Oui! That must be it! Everything fits so well!
It fits too well, my friend. Other clues lead to a second hypothesis, much more plausible.
凶手不止一个人，每个凶手都和阿姆斯壮一案有关。Et voilà.
We have multiple murderers, all related to the Armstrong case. The murderer from Vinkovsky was a fabrication to turn suspicion away from those on the train. They expected the investigation to be led by some small-town official who could easily be misled.
Mr. Poirot?
Detective Locke, forgive me. You are an obvious exception. You tracked Ratchet with the tenacity of a bloodhound. Unfortunately for the killers, they not only had you to deal with, but now they had, and I say this with all modesty, the world's greatest detective, Hercule Poirot, dropped into the midst of their meticulous planning.
Multiple murderers? Multiple detectives? Poirot, please take pity on me. Who is linked to this case and who is not?
My poor friend, I have gone speeding out of the station without you. I will continue.
和阿姆斯壮绑架案有关的，这个。1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8。有吗？
No, not good.
这个没关吧？这个应该有关吧？哦，他是英文老师。
Think, Poirot. That is not a good answer. I do not think that's the right answer. This is wrong.
啊？
I'm never far from the truth.
哦，这个他是卖车的，想起来了。
That's the right answer. Fräulein Schmidt, Pierre Michel, Monsieur Hardman, and Monsieur McQueen are all linked to the Armstrong case. I also know that Sonia Armstrong's sister and godmother, Countess Andreni and Princess Dragomirov, are on this train. And finally, Detective Locke discovered that Mr. Foscarelli was the Armstrong chauffeur.
If we add Detective Locke and Ratchet, of the 12 passengers in that coach, 9 have a connection with the Armstrong case. What next, Poirot? Or should I say, who next?
It is time to summon everyone.
Everyone? Even Dr. Constantine? The train crew other than Michel?
Dr. Constantine, yes. I will need him. But we don't want the others as witnesses.
I will see that their duties keep them occupied elsewhere.
Excellent. I have always thought this moment in a case is much like Rodin unveiling the thinker before a captivated audience. A work of art. Have you not felt that way, Detective?
No, Mr. Poirot. I'm happy just to slap the cuffs on him.
Well, there is some artistry in that as well, I suppose.
Where would you like the unveiling, Poirot? The lounge?
Perfect.
Then I will gather all the passengers in the lounge.
"到交易车厢，交易车厢是酒吧吗？哎，不是哎。
Can I get you something, Monsieur Poirot? Everyone is so tense.
An aperitif soon, Monsieur Fauché, with pleasure, when the matter is resolved. Monsieur Bouc, are the train crew locked in their quarters?
Yes, they are.
Then the stage is set for the final act. Ladies and gentlemen, I have gathered you together to hear my reconstruction of the murder of Samuel Edward Ratchet, also known as Cassetti. There is not one, but two possible solutions of the crime. I shall put them both
possible
before you,
solution.
and I shall ask Monsieur Bouc and Dr. Constantine here to judge which solution is the correct one.
Two solutions?
Mr. Poirot, I am hardly qualified.
Nevertheless, your assistance is required.
他们很紧张。
Now, you all know the facts of the case. Ratchet was found stabbed to death this morning. He was last known to be alive at 12:37 a.m. last night when he spoke to the wagon-lit conductor through the door. His watch was found to be badly dented, and it had stopped at 1:15. Dr. Constantine, who examined the body, puts the time of death as having occurred between midnight and 2 in the morning. At half an hour after midnight, as you all know, the train ran into a snowdrift. After that time, it was impossible for anyone to leave the train. So, here is my first theory. The enemy, as Ratchet expected, joined the train at Vinkovsky by the door left open by Captain Arbuthnot and Monsieur McQueen, who had just descended to the platform. He was equipped with a wagon-lit jacket, which he wore over his ordinary clothes, and a pass key which enabled him to gain access to Ratchet's compartment in spite of the doors being locked. Ratchet was under the influence of a sleeping draught. This man stabbed him with great ferocity, a dozen wounds in all. He left the compartment through the communicating door to Madame Hubbard's compartment.
Yes, that's so. Scared me half out of my wits.
The murderer thrust the dagger he had used into Mrs. Hubbard's handbag in passing. Without knowing it, he lost a button of his uniform. Then he slipped out of the compartment and along the corridor. He put the uniform jacket into Detective Locke's suitcase to cast suspicion on her. And a few minutes later, dressed in his ordinary clothes, he left the train just before it started off again, using the same means for egress, the door near the dining car. That is the first hypothesis. But there's a second. For that, we must examine the motive for the crime. Why was Ratchet killed? The motive is clear. Revenge, of course. Nothing was stolen. And we know that Ratchet had made many enemies. This was a premeditated crime, meticulously planned. Since the kidnapping and death of little Daisy Armstrong, which traumatized many people close to the family. Even when the police concluded that it was Suzanne Moreau, questions remained. Detective Locke continued her investigation, as did others. They became convinced the truth lay elsewhere. We now know who the real murderer of Daisy is. It is clear now that Daisy's killer was Ratchet, also known as Cassetti and Michael Clark and how many other names. But of course, Many of you have known this for a long time. It is obvious that the 12 stab wounds are not a random number. Dr. Constantine's analysis revealed that some stab wounds appeared to have been caused by a right-handed attacker. Others indicated the knife wielder was left-handed. Some wounds
乘客人数不就是12吗？
more than one fatal, yet others were not much more than mere scratches. What can explain these discrepancies? This leads us to an obvious conclusion. They are symbolic. "12 stabs. 12! The same number as a trial jury in the United States. But not just a jury of 12 members condemning him to death, but 12 executioners as well. This self-appointed jury had meticulously planned for everything except
Snow.
snow. The avalanche that stopped us, as well as the presence of not one but 2 detectives on the train. They had to improvise, to hastily add clues and false leads. The conductor's jacket, found in Detective Locke's suitcase, was put there only to cast suspicion upon her. The time on Ratchet's broken watch was deliberately set to conceal the true time of the crime. The vial of vaping liquid incriminated Captain Arbuthnot. However, he had a solid alibi confirmed by Monsieur McQueen. Impossible then to suspect him. This woman in a red kimono does not exist. I don't know which of the passengers it was. It does not really matter. It was just a performance, a charade to introduce another possible culprit to muddy the waters. All these false leads were intended for me. But I am Poirot. I understood the truth. We have a trail full of suspects. It's time to identify who the real culprits are. Let's start with Detective Locke. Planting the conductor's jacket in her suitcase was an attempt to implicate Detective Locke, but she couldn't fake her drugged condition. Dr. Constantine can testify that the drugged tea incapacitated her for hours, and she had 2 relapses. Let us move on to Monsieur McQueen. When I told him about Cassetti, he looked very surprised that I managed to make the connection between him and the Armstrong case. He told me, "But I thought we had..." I think he meant... You thought you didn't leave any real clues linking the murder to the Armstrong kidnapping. Moreover, you insisted that Ratchet did not speak French when you knew I had heard a voice calling out in French that was supposed to be Ratchet. You took some pleasure in leaving me false clues, I think. It was quite annoying. But you told me yourself that your father was the district attorney who handled the Armstrong case.
The case haunted my father. At first, he believed Suzanne Moreau had helped her boyfriend, Noah, to kidnap Daisy, even though there were questions that went unanswered, and a young policewoman refused to let it go, continuing to find discrepancies. Never enough to reopen the official investigation.
That police woman sits there. Her name is Joanna Locke.
Then tell him. Tell him how in the end my father believed you. How he resigned a job that he loved, racked with guilt that he may have let that monster go free. He died young, broken. His faith in justice broken. That's what Ratchet did to him.
Thank you for your honesty, Monsieur McQueen. Your father is one more victim of the man who called himself Ratchet. Now, I will turn to Ratchet's valet, Monsieur Masterman.
我要看一下他的资料，不太记得他是什么人呢？啊，没办法看。哦，安眠药。
Ratchet sensed danger close to him and naturally
1号安
wanted
呢
to stay awake. You gave him sleeping
好
pills.
喝水，喝水
without his knowledge.
，300
Once
cc
he
喝水
was。sound asleep, you could do what you had to do in peace.
Sir, I'll tell you the truth. I was Colonel Armstrong's adjutant in the war.
哦，他是他的副官哦。哎，这个真的没办法查出来。
I'm afraid I concealed the fact this morning. It was very wrong of me, sir, but I knew how suspicious it would look.
Is that all you have to say?
That's all, sir.
Now, to leave no suspicious stone unturned, let us move on to Monsieur Book.
What? Me? A suspicious stone?
不可能，他太笨了。
Book, my
Yeah.
friend, of course you are not guilty. You did everything you could to get me on this train. What madness would cause you to ensure, and I speak with all modesty, that the best detective in the world could be present to witness your crime?
But doesn't our friendship count as well?
Most assuredly, but a murderer can wear all sorts of masks, including friendship. Let us consider our ever-efficient wagon-lit conducteur, Pierre Michel.
Pierre Michel， 你有啦，你这下药了。
Your admission that you drugged Detective Locke immediately incriminates you, but the murder could not have been possible without your very capable assistance. Your knowledge of train procedures made the murder possible, and your position in the corridor of the train allowed you to be the perfect alibi for several passengers. And your motive? Suzanne Moreau, Daisy Armstrong's poor nanny, who was wrongly accused and committed
真的是
suicide,
可怜啊。
was your daughter.
C'est enfoiré. He got what he deserved. My poor daughter has finally been avenged. My Suzanne. My child.
Let's move on now to Monsieur Hardman, one of 3 detectives on this train. Monsieur Hardman, I think you are a real detective. But you were never hired by Ratchet. Your alibi was that you were watching the corridor to protect Ratchet, which, of course, you never did. You protected Pierre Michel. However, we just saw that his alibi doesn't hold up, so neither does yours.
I don't know about the conductor.
Being Suzanne's fiancé, you had a substantial motive to punish Ratchet. You used your detective skills, just as Detective Locke did, to hunt him down and finally avenge the death of your beloved.
每一个都有那个
That's right, Mr. Poirot.
每个人都有
You have
动
some
机。
detective skills.
I never doubted it. Now, Fräulein Schmidt, the lady's maid with the soul of a cook. Fräulein Schmidt, you told me of your remorse for drugging Detective Locke.
都是下药
I believe you are sincere. However, as the cook of the Armstrong family, you experienced the drama from within. The death of Daisy, then Sonia Armstrong, who died in childbirth, and finally, Suzanne and John Armstrong.
So much misfortune in that poor family. The death of this criminal is only justice.
Let us move on to Countess Andreni. I was impressed by the earnestness of her husband when he swore to me solemnly on his honor that his wife never left her compartment that night. Should I believe it?
应该不行，她老公应该跟这起案件没有太大关系。
Countess Andreni is young and fit, physically quite capable of stabbing Ratchet. The problem must be somewhere else. On the contrary, this fact gives her a motive for murder.
啊，但是第二个太弱了吧？
Countess Andreni, being Sonia Armstrong's sister, you had every reason in the world to want to avenge her. But you were incapable of stabbing someone, even after what he had done to you and your family. The night of the crime, you simply took a sleeping pill. I appreciate the irony that nearby, Detective Locke was also in a drugged sleep. When you awoke, you thought the nightmare was over.
Rudolph?
Hush, my love. Hush.
Excellent transition. I was coming to you, Count Andreni. No, Poirot, you're dreaming.
啊？他对，他把自己老婆迷晕。
12 people, the jury. This was very important to all of you. If Countess Andreni did not stab Ratchet, someone had to take her place. And you, Count, the beloved
这样
husband,
算
I've
了。
seen how fiercely you love and protect your wife.
Enough! I would do anything for Helena. Anything. Even that.
Yes, even that. Let's move on to Monsieur Foscarelli.
你有啦。
Detective Locke found out that you were the Armstrong chauffeur and that you planned to travel on the same train at the same time as Ratchet. That is what made her decide to obtain a ticket as well. Unfortunately, she could not prevent the murder. Have you lost your tongue, Mr. Foscarelli?
Oh, Daisy. She was the delight of the house. Tonio, she called me. And she would sit in the car and pretend to drive me.
And you, Mademoiselle Olson, a champion for the immigrants, a worthy calling. Admittedly, she lied to me about Mademoiselle Debenham's schedule, but one lie does not convict her. Mademoiselle Olsen, you supported Madame Hubbard's story about her connecting door latch, a story that I later demonstrated to be impossible. So, you deliberately lied to me, and you also lied about Mademoiselle Debenham's whereabouts.
Enough! I can't take this anymore! I know what you want from me, Mr. Poirot. Very well. Here it is. She was my little Daisy, my angel, so patient. When I patched a scrape or took her temperature, that was my job. But she was so much more to me. She was a shining light in an ever-darkening world. I've tried to honor her by caring for children who have lost everything.
Thank you, Mademoiselle Olsen. You too shed light on your part in this mystery. You were Daisy Armstrong's nurse. I will ask you no more questions. It is enough that you have admitted what I know to be the truth, and I understand. Let's move on. Dr. Constantine.
You suspect me? I know none of these people. I didn't know Ratchet either, and I've taken a solemn oath to help people, not murder them.
Now really, Poirot, he has helped you get to the truth, not hidden it. You are one of the few people in this room not to have any connection with the Armstrong case. Moreover, your alibi is confirmed by Monsieur Bouc, whom I would trust with my life.
That is very kindly said, my friend.
We now come to Mademoiselle Debenham and Captain Arbuthnot, whose relationship was not in doubt from the moment I inspected your room at the hotel.
You have a bloody nerve.
Indeed, I do.
We're getting married.
Congratulations, but I would rather talk about your relationship to John Armstrong.
Cells
did not let me down. Captain Arbuthnot, you served in the army with John Armstrong. What I don't understand is why a man your age is still a captain. One might expect you to be a colonel as well.
Ever fought in a war, Poirot?
It was war that first brought me to England.
Then you know what it's like. There's a shattering sound, and death, and mistakes, acting on intelligence that proved to be wrong. I sent a patrol to their death.
Oh.
Good men, brave men, wasted.
这有点自责
on my behalf at a court-martial. I'm not a colonel. I don't deserve to be, you bloody fool. But I'm also not in prison. John remained my best friend until... There, you have my story. Understand now?
Archie, calm down, please.
You're right, Mary. What you see in me, I don't understand.
Oh, Archie, I see in you what John saw.
Miss Debenham, I'm sorry.
My turn, is it?
I'm afraid so. And you have caused me quite a puzzlement. Your connection with the Armstrong family was not obvious. Then I remembered the job you currently hold.
老师，我记得他教英文的吧？
I'm right again. That happens to me a lot. You were the teacher of... No, she was the teacher of Countess Andrény.
Oh.
You were the teacher of Helena Andrény, whose maiden name was Helena Goldenberg before she married Count Andrény.
Yes, absolutely. Why lie to you? She was an excellent student.
Captain Arbuthnot. Mrs. Vile found at the crime scene was a decoy. You had one of the strongest alibis, thanks to Mr. McQueen. But his testimony melted like a snowflake. There went your alibi. Poof! Unless you have another one. As for you, Mademoiselle Debenham, Mademoiselle Olsen was the only one who could confirm your alibi. I think you know where you stand.
Very good, Mr. Poirot. Are you satisfied?
I will be soon. Now I must turn to Sonia Armstrong's godmother, Princess Dragomirov.
他一定有啊，因为只有他一个是左撇子。
Princess Dragomirov, you weren't on my list of suspects at the start, given your social position.
I left my social position in a cold country.
Do you object to being addressed as Princess?
I deny people the opportunity. It makes a good story to tell their friends. It also guarantees a good table in the best restaurants.
Princess, there is also, forgive me, your extreme physical fragility.
It does not stop me when I must be strong.
Indeed. Of more importance, though, is the fact that you're the only left-handed person on the train. And a single blow to ratchet from a left-handed person was very, forgive me, weak. Finally, I'm afraid I know the alibi that you shared with Fraulein Schmidt is false.
You have been very thorough, sir. I hope you will permit me to say we are much alike.
I am honored. Now it is time to end with Mrs. Hubbard, or should I say... Think, Poirot, that is not a good answer. Linda Arden.
Arden.
If Princess Dragomirov hadn't told me about her relationship with this famous actress, I might not have made the connection. But you are a great actress, madame. Your performance as a flighty, self-involved woman was superb. I never would have guessed something entirely different. As for what ties you to the Armstrong family, it is obvious.
Daisy 的教母吗？
No, not good. Think, Poirot, that is not a good answer. I must admit I'm not right this time.
It 不会吧？哇靠！完了。
Easy. Mrs. Hubbard, you are the mother of Sonia Armstrong and Mrs. Andreni.
是啊，全部都要靠他。
Madame Hubbard, you really are a remarkable actress. You put so much effort into your character and into staging the murder. I saw it as a perfect mosaic, each person playing his or her allotted part, so carefully arranged that if suspicion should fall on any one person, the evidence of one or more of the others would clear the accused person and confuse the issue. Everything was meticulously planned. But you hadn't expected that Detective Locke and I would be on this train, and the avalanche would block it on the night of the murder. You had to improvise. But again, improvisation would be another of your skills as an actress. So you came up with the story that the latch on the door that communicated with Ratchet's compartment was hidden by the handbag.
I always fancied myself in comedy parts. That slip about the sponge bag was silly. Shows you should always rehearse properly. You know all about it, Mr. Poirot. You're a very wonderful man, but even you can't quite imagine what it was like. That awful day, I was just crazy with grief. So were the servants. We decided then and there that the sentence of death that Ratchet had escaped had got to be carried out. There were 12 of us, or rather 11. Suzanne's father was over in France, of course. First, we thought we'd draw lots as to who should do it, but in the end we decided on this way. It was the driver, Antonio, who suggested it. Mary worked out all the details later with Hector McQueen. It took a long time to perfect our plan. We first had to track Ratchet down. Hardman managed that in the end. Then we had to try and get Edward and Hector.
他们分工合作很久了。
Well, we managed that. Then we had a consultation with Suzanne's father. Captain Arbuthnot was very keen on having 12 of us. He seemed to think it made it more orderly. He didn't like the stabbing idea much, but he agreed that it did solve most of our difficulties. Well, Suzanne's father was willing. Suzanne had been his only child. We knew from Hector that Ratchet would be coming back from the east sooner or later by the Orient Express. With Pierre Michel actually working on that train, the chance was too good to be missed. My daughter's husband had to know, of course, and he insisted on coming on the train with her. Hector wrangled it so that Ratchet selected the right day for traveling when Michel would be on duty. And then, at the last minute, you came. For the rest of the story, you worked out everything, Mr. Poirot. You were right about all of us. What are you going to do about it? If it must all come out, can't you lay the blame upon me, and me only? I would have stabbed that man 12 times willingly. It wasn't only that he was responsible for my daughter's death, and her child's, and that of the other child who might have been alive and happy now. It was more than that. There had been other children kidnapped before Daisy, and there might be others in the future. Society had condemned him. We were only carrying out the sentence, but it's unnecessary to bring all these others into it, all these good, faithful souls.
You are a director of the company,
感谢卡比第6个月。
In my opinion, Poirot, the first theory you put forward was the correct one. Decidedly so. I suggest that that is the solution we offer to the police. You agree, Doctor?
Certainly, I agree. As regards the medical evidence, I think that I made 1 or 2 fantastic suggestions.
Then, having placed my solution before you, I have the honor to retire from the case.
Mm. 就这样。这是案发经过吗？
I'm sorry to wake you up in the middle of the night, Poirot, but it couldn't wait. There was a detail that bothered me in my preliminary autopsy of Ratchet's body. I went back to examine the body and I discovered a wound covered by another. The blow I hadn't seen was delivered by a thinner, sharper blade. So there were not 12, but 13 stab wounds.
12 stabs for 12 jurors. It doesn't work with 13 wounds. The symmetry is destroyed.
It can't be one of the culprits who stabbed him twice?
Doctor, a different knife was used. There is only one explanation. Somehow, some way, there is a 13th murderer on this train. We must tell Book. The case is not solved.
还没结束哦。
Please come in. Ah, Book. I see we are moving at last.
Yes. The way was finally cleared while we slept. If all goes well, we will arrive in Venice this evening. The train will be there for several hours for refueling and reprovisioning. What do we do with the 13th murderer? Do you have a lead?
I thought about it. There is one clue that was left aside in my investigation. The diary I found in Ratchet's safe mentioned an appointment in Venice. Someone with the initials AW. He will never keep the appointment. But there should be enough time. I must try to keep that appointment for him.
哎，等我一下哦。有点累，洗把脸。OK。Debrief with H. AW. Fontana di Colli. 12月18号 Meet AW。晚上10点，威尼斯。11月18号，12月18号。
I'm right again. That happens to me a lot. 得到海斯汀的替代人选，什么意思？
If I asked a suspected murderer for help.
完了，我忘记。
Time for small talk. How would it look to the police if I asked a suspected murderer for help?
哎，医生到底在哪一层啊？101啊。 是101没错，怎么找不到？
I don't have time for small talk. How would it look to the police if I asked a suspected murderer for help?
哦，全部都在这。
Doctor, a moment. You made arrangements for Ratchet's body.
Yes, it will be collected by the Italian authorities when we reach Venice. The autopsy will be performed there. However, there is something odd.
Oh?
Since the train is French, jurisdiction must be shared. When I told them you were already on the scene, they have both agreed to support your investigation until we reach Paris. Ratchet's compartment will be sealed until we arrive there. All of those who conspired to kill Ratchet are to be confined to the train until then as well.
So, thanks to you, I am the rope in a tug-of-war between two countries.
Oh, but I thought you would want to be in charge. And isn't it odd we continue on our journey with a trainload of people that police consider potential murderers?
Calm yourself, Doctor. It is not the first time I find myself in the middle. And to be honest, I welcome the chance to see this case through. It is fast becoming one of the most challenging of my career. Doctor, a question. Could you assist my investigation in Venice?
I can't, I'm afraid. I'm to accompany Ratchet's body when the Italian police take possession of it. I've been asked, commanded really, to help with the autopsy because of my earlier examination.
那就只剩那个啊，女警长啊。
Mademoiselle Locke, you are clearly an excellent police officer. Could you accompany me to Venice for an investigation into Ratchet's activities? There is much we still need to know.
Well, yes. It would be an honor to work with you. And I'm glad you trust me. What do you have in mind?
There was a notation in Ratchet's appointment book. He had an appointment.
With who?
There were only the initials A.W. They were to meet at 10 o'clock at the Fontana dei Conigli. I want to know who Ratchet was meeting and why.
But you've already discovered the 12 conspirators. Why is this meeting important?
Unfortunately, the case is not complete. Dr. Constantine has discovered the presence of a 13th stab wound.
One of them could have stabbed him twice.
The wound was made with another, finer blade. Why would one of them have used two knives? Did they want to confess they killed him more than the others? And if so, why bother to deny it when they have already confessed? No, it makes no sense. And I do not close a case until all questions have been answered. You of all people must understand this.
You're right. I do understand. I'll help you.
Thank you.
可是有这个第13刀呢？前面讲的那个什么，12个人是美国陪审团人数，不就整个说法都不攻自破？
Be prepared when we reach Venice. We have another mystery to solve.
This is the third embarking dock, and no gondoliers available at all. With Carnival, you can't find a gondolier to cross that damn canal. They're all booked. The worst thing is that the fountain is just across this canal. We're almost there.
我们只剩1个小时过去了。
I see a gondolier just over there.
变成操作他了。
Every carnival, my friends and I mask, and every carnival we lose one another.
找到团夫，他失恋了是不是？踢你下去哦。
Hi there. We'd like to cross the canal, please.
There is a bridge about a kilometer down the canal.
Please. According to the map, the Fontana dei Conigli is just across the canal here.
No, I, Gabriele, cannot help you. I'm sorry.
We'll miss the 10 o'clock rendezvous if we try to get through this crowd and have to walk a kilometer in both directions. Why is he refusing to take us across? He looks upset. I should try to find out why. If it's a matter of price, I'm sure we can work it out.
Money? Money won't help me now.
His problem isn't money. What is it then? Bella Chiara, the beautiful Chiara. A beautiful name for a beautiful gondola. What a sham. A beautiful bouquet crushed by revelers.
啊，他是不是想送东西给女友？
Show me how an American detective would handle this.
No, I did something wrong. Not bad.
伊亚拉，他的船是用他女朋友的名字命名。
Detective job. I'm sorry you had a fight with Chiara.
What? How did you know?
I'm a detective. I'd like to help if I can.
If you have a spare engagement ring, detective, I'll take it.
Ah, I see. You lost the engagement ring you were planning to give
这个有
Chiara.
点短掉哦。
It is worse than that. I threw it away in the canal. I bitterly regret this gesture. I now find myself without a girlfriend and without a ring.
为什么要丢掉啊？神经病哎，真的是。
If we find the ring, maybe the gondolier will take us across.
You are right. There is not much time. I will help you.
你要找戒指。 有什么能用的吗？诶？
It's calm and relaxing, although not as clean as it could be.
你不可能找得到一枚戒指啊！那么大的盒哎、完全看不懂。
Ancora una volta sono dalla parte spagliata del canale per la festa.
Sorry, I don't speak Italian. Someone who'll be happy.
太刚好了吧！
I don't need an empty soda can. There are too many plastic bottles in the world.
喂，太刚好了吧！他不是说要帮我，结果都是我在找。来，戒指啊，给
Excuse
你。
me. I believe I have something that belongs to you.
Mamma mia, grazie mille, signorina. With this, I can now win my Chiara's heart again. I know it. How to thank you?
My friend and I need to get to the other side. We have a very important date at the Fontana di Conigli.
Ah, yes. The rabbit fountain. Of course, I'll take you across. Then I will call Kiara. Hopefully she will forgive me.
I'm sure she will.
Well done, Detective Locke.
啊，你不是说要帮忙，跑去哪里了？
This district of Venice is very charming. You will love it.
If it's not too much to ask, can you wait for us until we return?
Yes, no worries. I can call Kiara from here. To find the fountain, walk along the quay on the left, then cross the bridge and you are there. You cannot miss it.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you, Signorina. You have made
Signorina.
me the happiest gondolier in Venice. Do you forgive me?
那他也打电话了。
You have my full confidence, mademoiselle. I'll leave it to you.
在这里啊，他刚刚说这里的。你该不会就是刚刚那个女的，刚刚那个船夫的女朋友吧？到了。
It's 9:55. The right time in the right place. Now AW just needs to show up.
You made me run, Detective Locke. Poirot does not run. I'll wait, sitting down.
好，我们也做吧。找出谁是 AW？
We have an appointment, I believe.
I don't think so. I've never met you.
嗯？
Did you have an appointment here at the fountain?
Yes, to party.
Party.
I have an appointment with you, don't I?
No, dove la tua maschera?
这个感觉就是在等人啊，为什么不能问？靠腰嘞！
I have an appointment with you, don't I?
No, dove la tua maschera?
No, dove la tua maschera?
Did you have an appointment here at the fountain?
Yes, to party.
Yes, to party. 哎，都问过了吧？
Did you see anyone who could be AW?
No, no one. But who knows what those masks and costumes are hiding?
这样完全没有帮助啊！诶
We have an appointment, I believe.
I don't think so. I've never met you.
这个人也不是。能问的都问过了吧？就是那个人啊，他在那边偷看。感觉没什么用。
Did you see anyone who could be AW?
No, no one. But who knows?
哦，好废哦。
We have an appointment.
I don't think.
怎么回事啊？卡关了是不是？AW， 难不成跟这有关吗？
I have an appointment with.
No.
还是我要先戴面具啊？嗯
I have an appointment.
No, don't.
难不成还要下船哦？应该吧。嗯，完了，我卡关了。
Did you see anyone who could be AW?
No, no one. But who knows what those masks and costumes are hiding?
Did you have an appointment here at the fountain?
Yes, to party.
A gold mustache. Thank you very much.
真小。完全没有哎、有什么我没注意到的吗？
I have an appointment with you, don't I?
No, dove la tua maschera?
靠背啊！这个原来可以进去的。
Clerk must be asleep or off partying. If there's no one to help me, they won't mind if I help myself.
AW.
Aziz Wadi. That's the only name that corresponds to the initials AW.
Paziente, non ti ho sentito. Posso aiutarla?
Hello, I'm looking for the Fontana de Canigli. Do you know where it is?
Ah, it's right in front of the hotel. It's easy to recognize because of the rabbits.
Thank you. I had an appointment with someone, but I can't find him. I wondered if he might be staying in your hotel.
I can't help you unless you give me the name.
I have an appointment with Mr. Aziz Wadi. Do you know if he's here?
Well, unfortunately, he left the hotel this morning. He seemed to be in a hurry, but he left a carta. You are?
I'm Mrs. Ratchet.
Mr. Wadi asked me to give the message to the signore, but I suppose this is okay.
嘿嘿，我觉得有人在监视我。我们还有个地方见面。爱丽丝坐在喷泉边，她看着眼白色的兔子的雕像。突然间，兔子跳走，爱丽丝追着兔子身后。这一次也请让爱丽丝成为你的向导。看过狭窄的小巷，通过桥梁，爱丽丝遇到两个男人，他们在争执谁的帽子更高。他的脚带着他回到了窄巷中，接着到小广场上，他看见了喝茶的猫，调皮的猫跑进另一个小巷，爱丽丝追了上去。好长哦！他气喘喘的来到大广场，那边有扑克牌士兵的营区，他们朝着他的方向行军而来。爱丽丝跑啊跑，到了码头的尾端，那里有个巨大的门。长着蛇发女妖的脸，看她要密码，那是爱丽丝在一路上收集起来的密码。猫。
So, mademoiselle, was our mysterious AW here?
No, but I managed to get his name, Aziz Wadi, and a letter he wrote for Ratchet. It seems to be a kind of riddle rhyme.
Let me see. Well, Ratchet and Mr. Wadi must love this book to refer to it so much.
Yes, I think we have to search and find the tracks that this person left for Ratchet to find him.
I think so. Lead the way, Mademoiselle Locke. Do you need help, Detective Locke?
It looks like the writer of this letter is quoting Alice in Wonderland.
No, I think it is a pastiche. Monsieur Carroll was a much better writer than this.
It's a riddle. No, a map.
Both. I think Mr. Wadi was worried their business might be known and has given Ratchet directions to a new rendezvous point. The
门吗？
last paragraph suggests a
对啊。
door that requires a passcode. If I understand correctly, this code will be made up of numbers that we will find along the way. Mr. Wadi's letter mentions a rabbit. The rabbit fountain is an obvious starting point. I believe the letter refers to this place. We have a reference to hats in the letter. Where can we find hats? If we follow the letter, our next landmark will be a cat. A real cat is not likely. Let's try to find a picture or a sign with a cat. A place with playing card soldiers. It sounds like a metaphor. What place could make us think of soldiers?
兔子起点吗？穿过狭窄的小巷，通过桥梁。狭窄的小巷，这里吗？然后通过桥梁。哦，帽子。在争论谁的帽子更高。8。先帮我记着8。回到小广场。回到宅巷中，接着到小广场上。有喝茶的猫。宅巷是这。哎呦，有人倒了。喝茶的猫。Art and Gato 是巴士。按错了。台湾猫跑进另一个小巷，爱丽丝追了上去，就是大广场。巴士。另一个小巷。另一个小巷。遇到大广场。哦，走错小巷，应该是 O 那边才对。巴士。嗯？不是这边。嘿嘿， 9哎，84什么9？我不小心走到了终点呢，好像849。84什么9？这里算大广场吗？哦，这里是大广场。哦，8469吗 ？OK。
No, Joanna. That doesn't track.
啊？5位数，不是8469吗？还是一开始也有啊？兔子那里可能也有一个。完了。正好是我这个路痴的罩门啊，8469对不对？现在什么8469？卡住！诶，哎呦，这些一直跳舞的人一直卡哎。8469，这里有吗？我没有看到任何数字啊。等一下哦，看一下。8、4、6、9，对啊，8469，这应该是起点会有一个。就是跑啊跑啊跑啊，2啊，靠，28469，对，大眼睛，希望对哦。 哎，对了，到了。哎，那边有个人来杀人了！我靠！第13个凶手就是你。
I can't lose them.
靠！这骗人什么游戏啦？喂，靠腰哦！然后直接转对边了。
Move over.
完了，一堆都是他一样的人。
Too many masks. The murderer could be standing there watching me and laughing. The murderer got away. I'm coming back, but it looked like he dropped something when he climbed the first wall.
All right, I'll go and see. For my part, unfortunately, I could do nothing for the victim. He was already dead. I have already alerted the Italian authorities. I will see what I can find while I wait for them.
哎。
There must be several tens of thousands of dollars in this bag.
眼镜
A pair of women's glasses. Was Ratchet planning a new identity? The victim was stabbed. Apparently the method of choice in this case. Of keys. If, as seems likely, Mr. Wadi is a resident of Geneva, then one of these may belong to his home there. Various clothes in his suitcase. Mr. Wadi was obviously planning to leave this city.
瑞士护照，我一直觉得瑞士护照很好看。
Mr. Wadi's Swiss passport. I'll see if I can find a match on the internet to confirm his identity. I must admit I'm not right this time.
几岁啊？1978年，30、40、45啊，45没错。
No, not good. Think, Poirot. That is not a good answer.
Aziz.
That was easy.
"刚说他逃跑的时候有遗漏什么东西，是不是？一定是遗漏这个。
To Poirot, my exquisitely sculpted friend.
哎呀，护照哎。
A false passport with Ratchet's picture. Clark, Ratchet. How many others? Now he will become Enrico Caldo. It appears Ratchet changed his identity as often as his socks.
确实啊。
This direction looks promising.
I'm sorry I couldn't catch the suspect, Mr. Poirot.
There is no need to apologize, mademoiselle. Your efforts were marvelous. I found some information about Mr. Wadi.
Did you access the FBI database?
Don't worry, my little gray cells were enough. However, the database may confirm the origin of these banknotes.
No need. I included them when I continued my investigation.
Excellent.
NA215。
No, this isn't it. No, I did something wrong.
Huh?
Come on, Joanna. That's a rookie mistake. Oh, no, this... Come on, Joanna. No. I don't need with... Oh, no, this isn't it. Come on, Joanna. That's a rookie mistake.
哦，靠腰。NA2502003G 有了。
The detective gets it right.
NA250。2151 NA251 280S。
That is a great detective job.
152。有了。
Score. 1 for the good guys.
Mr. Poirot, it's part of the ransom money from the Armstrong case.
You are surprised?
I suppose not. So Ratchet had it in an account at the Banque du Lac.
It would seem so. He knew the serial numbers on the banknotes could be traced, and he could not spend it, so he stashed it there.
But now he's run low, something he didn't count on. He hopes enough time has passed so he can begin to spend the ransom money.
There is something else he didn't count on.
What's that?
He didn't count on you, Detective Locke, and your tenacity.
Thank you. But we are still left with a murderer on the loose.
But we progress. We know Mr. Wadi had an appointment with Ratchet. He had a bag full of money and a passport with Ratchet's photo, but a new name. What is your opinion about the passport?
I discovered that he was arrested in Armenia for trafficking in stolen art. and was supposed to be arraigned in January. Once again, he changed his identity and vanished.
You are correct, mademoiselle. He also told me that he was threatened, and that threatening letter we found in his room was real. He had to disappear once again.
The bag isn't very big. He could have easily run away with it. If he didn't take it, it was deliberate. He wasn't interested in the money. If the motive wasn't money, it leaves passion or revenge for motive.
So, Detective Locke, what do you think? Passion or revenge?
Revenge seems like an obvious motive to me. The murderer carefully followed Wadi from the fountain to the new meeting place despite Wadi's precautions. That is cold and careful.
Excellent. We cannot yet know for certain, but that is a sound psychological analysis.
看好像在收徒哎。
We have an idea of the motive. It is the of would-be murderers on the train, but we still must know who was under that mask.
I think Wadi's killer is also Ratchet's murderer. The motive for both deaths was revenge, and both are related to the Armstrong case through the ransom money.
Exactly. So our murderer is linked to the Armstrong case. The money is linked to the Armstrong case. But these glasses that I found in the bag, they must have something to do with this case too.
Wait, those glasses mean something to me. Wait, I know. I've seen these. They belong to Susan Moreau, little Daisy's nurse. I remember seeing them in her bedroom, but they were gone the day she died.
I remember the press saying that the nurse had committed suicide.
I've always believed otherwise, and the glasses are proof that she was killed by Ratchet or his accomplice. He took those glasses. I always had a gut feeling, but now, Mr. Poirot, now I have proof Suzanne was innocent.
Yes, you do. But the question I ask myself is this. Why did Ratchet keep these glasses?
In my investigation at the time, I had already found Daisy's hair clip in one of Ratchet's hideouts. And now, Suzanne's glasses end up in this bag, which was a delivery to him.
Two objects from two victims of Ratchet.
Keeping an object belonging to his victims as a memento of the murder. He was a fetishistic killer, a trophy hunter. Okay, we managed to clear up some of the gray areas. What now?
The bag only contained a fraction of the $1 million ransom of the Armstrong case. The rest must still be in a secure place. I will make a wager with you that it is the Banque du Lac in Geneva where Mr. Wadi worked.
Wadi was also the keeper of Ratchet's secrets. They were killed by the same murderer.
Agreed. Well, there is nothing more we can do here except wait for the police. Prepare yourself for a long evening with the police. We have a lot of explaining to do.
And after that?
A visit to Geneva, perhaps?
哇，还没结束这游戏。这游戏有几章啊？
Here you are at last. I was worried about you.
We just left the police station. We had to explain to the Italian police that we were not murderers.
What? Another murder?
I'll tell you when we're underway. Are all passengers and staff aboard?
Yes, everyone is here. We were waiting for you.
Excellent. Let's not waste any more time. We have to make a longer than usual stop in Lausanne.
What? How long?
Long enough to do a little banking in Geneva.
他整个傻眼了。所以车上的人还在吗？
But this is madness. A 13th murderer of Ratchet?
Mon ami, he was not well liked.
But Monsieur Michel would have seen anyone enter Ratchet's compartment. And there were another 10 people milling about, taking their turn at stabbing him. How could they not notice an uninvited killer?
Pierre Michel's testimony is, of course, false. He was actively involved in the murder plot. I must know his real movements to understand when our 13th murderer could have acted undetected. Yes, he most certainly returned to the train.
How can you be sure?
It's obvious. I mean, I hope Mr. Poirot agrees.
Please continue, Detective Locke.
While I was chasing him, he was clearly running in the direction of Venice Station, where the Orient Express was waiting.
Very possibly, but it is not much in the way of proof, mademoiselle.
The train is French. The murder took place in Slovenia, and the victim's body is in Italy. Jurisdiction won't be sorted out before the train reaches Paris. The murderer is probably content to sit tight aboard the train until Paris, where he can disappear.
It is undoubtedly a possibility, but we have no proof.
All the passengers and crew are still aboard. If the killer of Mr. Wadi had remained in Venice, we would have noticed right away that someone was missing, and we could have alerted the authorities.
I promise you, I made certain everyone was aboard before we embarked.
Book, calm yourself.
Calm myself? But we're back where we started. There is still another murderer on my train. Wait a moment. Can I change my mind about my verdict? Can we turn everyone over to the police?
Everyone? Including ourselves?
What? No. No. Oh, it's a nightmare.
Let us take it step by step, my friend. We can start by eliminating all of the members of the Ratchet jury.
Okay.
Et voilà. If we eliminate the 12 jurors, we are left with 7 additional suspects.
7? It's still too many.
I agree. We must reduce our list.
Excuse my impatience, Poirot. It's as if my beautiful train is cursed. Can you exonerate any of the 7?
已经不是啊，这个怎么可能是？
Worked hard to get me aboard the train. He is definitely not a suspect.
不是啊，
Fantastic. Mademoiselle Locke can.
他是追凶手了，怎么可能是他？
Pursued Mr. Wadi's murderer. I must admit I'm not right this time. It was Dr. Constantine who alerted me to. Yes. Dr. Constantine alerted me to the 13th stab wound. He is not a suspect. I'm right again. I have 4 suspects left who I must now examine more closely. Miss Nielsen, Monsieur Maury, Monsieur Fauché, and Countess Andrény.
One of my employees? Suspicious?
All 3 got off the train in Venice to restock supplies. Any one of them might have slipped away without being noticed.
I suppose. But what of Countess Andrény? You cleared her yourself.
She is cleared of the first murder, but we know little of her movements here in Venice, so we still have 4 suspects to interview. Detective Locke?
I can't join you, Poirot. My chief saw something on the news about the case and my involvement. He's demanding an explanation. If I want to keep my badge, I have to call him.
Then you must do so by all means.
I'm sorry.
No need to apologize. I understand.
I'll make the call from my compartment. If you're looking for me, I'll be there.
感觉这种坐火车的，他漫游不就要买跨国家的漫游？
The ransom money.
You mean Detective Locke? Then who did she chase? Who killed Aziz? We both saw the masked murderer standing over the body.
OK， 休息休息，升档啦。没想到还有第13个凶手啊！本来以为今天可以把这个游戏玩完的，结果没想到，没办法，那就下次再继续玩了。有点晚了，差不多该休息。待会播个结束影片，方便 YouTube 存档就关台了。那就下次再见喽。好，对了，下个礼拜搞不好会换日期直播，到时候再看看。就这样了，拜拜，拜拜拜拜拜。